All right, back again. Got my water. After I make videos for several hours straight, my voice kind of, my throat gets dry, especially in the dry climate here in Montana. So I got to be drinking water while I do these, so bear with me. Okay, let's move on with our WordPress website design training system here. Now, so far we have set up a domain, we set up hosting, we set up WordPress, we set up some pages and menus, and I introduced you to themes. But in this video, I want to dig deep into themes. Themes are what are gonna make your website look cool. It's gonna be the colorful. It's gonna be the exciting part, the fun part about designing your new website. So let's jump right in. All right, so we're back at the this basic website that we created in the last couple of videos. We know how to get to the dashboard. Let's go back in there. And we've been over here where we go to Appearance Themes, so let's do that again. Now, this is where it's going to get kind of crazy. We're going to go in and click Add New. Now, WordPress has thousands of free themes for you to choose from. Okay, I can't tell you which theme to use. I can tell you which theme I use. It's a paid theme called Genesis, and it also has another component to it called Dynamic, which you have to purchase both of those separate. So some themes are free, some themes you have to pay for. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you some, we'll play with some free themes so you can get an idea of how this works. Maybe you'll find a theme that's free that you want to use, but usually the free themes are very limited in design, but maybe you'll just like it straight out of the gates and you won't care about customization, all right? I don't know. It depends on how as long as you can create trust and include the conversion elements that we're going to talk about in later videos, then you should be good to go. But some people are very particular about how they want their website to look. So the more particular are, the more basically money you're going to want to spend, the more time, the bigger the learning curve it's going to take to make your website look exactly the way you want. That being said, you can do it. It just depends how much time and money you want to put into it. Right now we're going free though. Let's talk about free. So we've got the free WordPress themes on there right now, but let's look at this modern business one. This looks kind of interesting. So all you do to install a new theme from the free themes in the WordPress database is to click on it, okay, and then to click on Install. Okay, now it's installed. And then you got to activate it. So you got to do two things. You got to install it and then activate it. Once it's installed, you'll be able to flip back and forth. See, we're back at this screen with all the default themes. It added this one here. Okay, it's that easy to add a new theme, and then we can switch back and forth, flip-flop back and forth if we want to see this theme versus that theme once we get them installed. But that being said, now let's go ahead and visit the site. I'm going to close these tabs here. Hold on. Let's visit the site and see what this theme looks like. See, that totally changed the look and feel here. We're still dealing with a bunch of text. It's not as pretty as I'd like it to be. It throws the title in there, which is not ideal. It's not necessarily what I want, but it gives you an idea of what's possible. Another thing I want to talk about before we go too far is you want a theme that is responsive. Responsive means that it looks good on a mobile site, looks good on an iPad. Google looks at it as a mobile site as well, which will help in rankings. So let's swish this down to cell phone size. And you see how everything moves around and it changes the menu to a navigation that we can click on. This is what it looks like on a cell phone. And so this one is responsive. Most of the new ones should be responsive, but just in case you want to be aware of that, of what it looks like on an iPad right there, what it looks like on a cell phone right there, what it looks like on a desktop right there. You just change the size of your browser to see that. Okay? So I'm not loving this theme. Let's go ahead and see what else we got. So we go back to add new. We go down to, I like one where you can add your own logo. So let's see if we see one. Okay, here's a nice simple one. It's called Compass. It looks like you can add your own logo here. Let's install that and see what we can do with that. I've never done this before, so we're doing it on the fly. I want you guys to see how this works in real time. Click to install. Now I'm going to click activate. Okay, now that's activated. Let's go back to our front end, refresh this. Okay, now we're looking better here. This is closer to something that I would like to use. Not ideal, but something that I'd like to use here. So I'd like to put my own logo in there. Let's figure out how to do this. Every theme is different on how you make changes. They all have their own customization features. So we're gonna have to muddle through this a little bit, but this is what you're gonna have to do when you're designing your own WordPress site. Let's see. So what I'm looking for along the side here is something to do with my theme that allows me to customize stuff. There we go. Under appearance, ink themes. Yeah, ink themes. I bet there's something in there that'll allow us to change stuff. All right. They're trying to sell me something. They're trying to tell me to install some plugins. I'm gonna click out of that for a second. All right. So this is basically advertising paid themes. I want to know how to change that that logo. What about customize here? That's not going to let me change that. Custom logo. Okay, here we go. So yeah, like I said, I'm muddling through this. I didn't know this offhand. Real quick, let me grab my files here because I do have a logo created for this company. I created this. Let me just pull this over here so you can see it. I created this little logo for Mountain Restoration Services. I actually had somebody over at Fiverr.com. I think I spent $50. Kind of a cool little logo. Could be better, could be worse, but I think it's good enough for what we're doing. So let me double click it here and let's see what happens. Maybe get a bigger view of it. Come on. There we go. All right, now you can see it, get a better view. This is the logo that I'm going to use for this sample site here. May change it in the future. I don't know. But it's something to work with. Got the mountains. It's obvious what we're doing. Mountain Restoration Services. And so this is the file here. It's a PNG file. Let's select the image and just see what happens here. Looks like I just drop it over. This is all theme specific stuff. This is not something you're going to see on every theme. So I dropped it there. It looks like choose image is my option here. Let's see. There we go. Cool. All right. That worked out well. It popped the logo in there. So I'm going to close out of this. I want to get a... Oh, okay. Let's save and publish that because I like where we're going with this so far. Okay. Let's go back to the front end. All right, now we're starting to look like a website here. Before I do anything, I want to make sure this is responsive. Yes, it is. It changes down. Everything switches around. That logo gets cut off. So what I'm going to do is I am going to have to shrink that logo down. I'm going to have to make it smaller. The theme will not do that for me, okay? This is something I'm going to do in Photoshop. You can do it in any kind of graphics program out there. If you don't want to do your own graphics, then you're going to have to hire someone to do it or find a family member or a friend that knows how to use Photoshop or some kind of similar program. So I'm not going to teach Photoshop in a web design class. But what I am going to do is shrink this down, this picture down, this logo down in Photoshop, and then I'm going to re-upload that. So I'm going to pause this real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So I took a couple inches off the size of that logo, as you can see. Let me save and publish that. And then I'm going to shrink it down again so I can see what happens. I'm going to pull my my iPhone out, which I do a lot when I'm designing websites, and I recommend you do the same. I'm going to see what it actually looks like on an iPhone. So mountain. I need to learn how to spell, I guess. Mountain restoration services.com. Yeah, so that logo is a little bit off, so it needs to be shrunk down a little bit more. So I'm gonna pause it again and shrink it down a little bit more. I'm doing this. I'm stepping you guys through this because I want you to see what it really takes when you start designing a website, a quality website. Be right back. All right, I'm back. Shrunk it down another inch. I took a whole another inch off the width of that logo there. Now you can also, if you have your logo, if you had somebody else design your logo, you can have that web designer shrink this for you, change the size for you if it's something you don't want to attack, if it's something you don't want to try to figure out how to do. All right, so just keep that in mind when I'm doing this kind of stuff and I'm using Photoshop and dealing with graphics. You can always outsource that to other people. It just delays the process a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to save and publish this. Close this little section here so I can really see what it looks like. Okay. I'm really starting to like the look of this, actually. So let's shrink it down again to make sure. Now that's starting to look better on a cell phone. A lot better. I like it. You see the menu is up at the top now. Before we go any further, let's figure out why it has two different home pages. Let's go down in here to the dashboard. Go over to Pages. So yeah, I don't know why it's showing two home pages. Let's go to Menus and see what happens. What's going on there? Huh. Well, what happens if we click on both of those on the front end? What is it? Do they both go to the same place? That goes to home. That goes to home. Let me pause this, play around with it, and then I'll tell you guys exactly what I did to fix it. Okay, so I figured it out. The theme that we have wants to have its own homepage. So the homepage that we created at the beginning is just like a duplicate. So once I I went ahead and deleted the one that we created prior, okay, and I let this theme create its own homepage. But it's kind of cool because if you go here to customize, it allows you to change the pictures here. Of course, we don't want this to be part of our restoration site. We want to talk about water damage and mold and fire damage, stuff like that. So we can easily change this within the home page slider section. So we click that first slider, and this is where we can change the image. Okay, and it tells us the size of the image here. And so what I need to do is either create an image or go buy an image, use my own photograph, but either way it's got to be cropped to fit these specific dimensions. And these are all set by the theme, this specific theme. So if I change the theme, this slider is not going to be here, and if the new theme has a slider, I'm going to have to change it to their dimensions. So that's why I'm saying when you're changing themes, you got to be aware that you're going to play by their rules, okay? And you're going to do stuff, you're going to be restricted by whatever that theme wants. If you want to have full customization, you got to get something like Genesis theme. It's a paid theme. It's a couple $100. There's a lot of these framework type themes that allow you to do customization. Unless you're going to be really getting into web design, I don't recommend you go that route, but that's what we do here in-house because we need full flexibility because our clients are constantly wanting us to make tweaks and changes, and they don't like things to be the way the theme, specific themes show. So anyway, I just want to make sure that is understood, that is clear, that you are restricted. But we're going to run with this theme because I like it. I think it's kind of cool. As far as a free theme goes, I think it's pretty damn cool. That being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop over to, I've got an account with Adobe. I'm sorry, I went to the wrong place. Stock.adobe.com. This is where you can buy stock images, stock graphics for your website. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to type in water damage, see what comes up. Okay, so we got some stuff to work with here. So what we want to do with this kind of thing is show, we want to, we can be a little cheesy here. That's okay. I'm going to grab this one. Let me sign into my Adobe account. You'll need to set up an account if you're going to be doing this with Adobe. Give it $80 and I get Photoshop, and I get like 20 pictures per month. Something like that. Okay, now I'm signed in. Download this photo. Okay, now it's downloaded. I'm gonna go. So let's go back to this here. So 1250 by 520 pixels is the size that I need to have for this specific slideshow. So let me go change the size of this image here. I'm gonna crop it out, and then I'm gonna pause it. Be right back, and we can upload it. Okay, I'm back, and I have cropped that image to match what this theme is asking for. So what I'm going to do, click on Change Image. I'm going to drag and drop this image that I just bought from Adobe Stock. I'm going to choose that image. Let's see what happens. There we go. Now we're starting to look like a restoration site. Okay, cool. It's got another, let's see. So it's got a second image that it also shows there. So let's save and publish that first. Go back here, second slider area. Okay, so that's where it's got this other image here. I'm gonna leave that there just for example reasons, so you can kind of see it cycle through. See, now it'll change this image. That's that fancy little feature of this theme. Of course, I would change that to some kind of like mold damage or fire damage or something like that if I wanted to. So it looks like we can only have 2 images in our slider with this specific theme. Okay, some themes will allow for more, some less, some won't have sliders at all. So just, I want to keep emphasizing that the theme is what decides all of the cool look and feel features, stuff like that. So I can also change this little box of text that comes out here. For this type of business, fast 24/7 emergency service. So now I change that to fast 24/7 emergency service. Of course, I don't want it to say premium WordPress themes, blah, blah, blah. It says we work to get your home back to normal as soon as possible. give us a call today. Little call to action for immediate an immediate response. Sorry, my writing skills are average. Yes, I wrote a book, but I had an editor that I paid a lot of money to fix it up for me. I'm going to put a 555 number in there right now just so we can have a phone number. Obviously, it's not a real phone number. And save and publish. Okay. Now we're starting to look like a website here. We are starting to look like a restoration website. Real quick, you see how at the menu at the top here, like, since I have too many pages, it's kind of splitting it up and it just doesn't look right. I want to show you something you can do. We need to go back to menus. And it says this one's invalid because I deleted it. So let's remove that one. And what you can do here now is this is how you create like drop-down menus. You know how on some websites when you hover your mouse over a page or a menu item, it will have a drop-down and show other pages? Well, let's do that for our services. You know what? We need a specific page for water damage restoration. So let me add that page first. This will be good. Then you can kind of see. Oh, forgot to save it. You can kind of see the process I go through. So you can kind of see how I forget things and I need to go back and do things and all that. So let's go in there. Publish that. Okay. Okay, let's go back to the menus. Now watch me add this new page to the menu. If you don't do what I'm showing you here, it will not automatically show up. So we go back to View All. Here's the new page I added. I put a check mark next to that and I click Add to Menu. It puts it right at the bottom there. And so now let's watch it. Watch what happens when I refresh it on the front end. Puts in our new picture, adds the page for water damage restoration into the menu. But we still don't like this, how this looks here, how it drops down and stuff like, or how it, splits stuff up and puts stuff on two different lines. I don't like that personally, but that's just me. But what I like to do to fix that, go back to the menu. Now, what you can do to make a drop-down menu is to put stuff when you drag and drop one of your menu items. You see how it can indent here? Go all the way to the left or indent. When you indent it, that turns it into a sub item or a drop down. I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna do that for all my services. Fire damage and mold removal. So now I have 3 services. They're all in drop down. Okay. Save that. Go back here. Let's refresh it and see what we got. That didn't do what I wanted it to do. Did I save this? Now refresh it again. Okay. Well, try a couple things here. There we go. So you see what I did? This theme made me go back and recheck the main menu and click save, and now I've got what I want. Of course, the home page is gone. That's not cool. I mean, we can work through this. I'm going to show you guys what I do. So the home page is gone, but we do have this drop down now. So when I hover over services, it gives us a drop down. Boom, boom, boom. Which is what I wanted, but it took away the home page link. I believe anyway. Yeah. So let's figure out what to do there. Now, possibly if I go over to reading again under settings and I do a static page. Let's see if that changed anything. Hold on. Okay. It didn't. Now let's try something else then. Let's go back to menus. Now this is good. This will be a good lesson for me to show you how to make a custom menu item rather than just a page that's already on that you've created on the site. So you go down here to custom links on the left side. We're in the menus screen again, and I want the link text to be home, and I want the URL to be just the home page, basically the basic URL. Make sure that HTTP is in there and all that good stuff. Add to menu. See, now we got a home here, and I want to put that at the top because I want it to show up on the left. Let's click save and see if that worked. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. Okay, so it did add the home. Now if we click on About Us, it'll take us over here. We still got the home. Now I click on home again. There it goes. That's exactly what I wanted. So now we've got a little drop-down menu here. We've had to get in and kind of tweak this theme to look the way that we want it to look. All right. So now we've got a very, a pretty good website. I mean, actually, we got, some good things going on here. They've got this theme also has these 3 little boxes here with these little animations that pop up and everything. So, like, for example, what we could do is change these 3 things to our 3 different services. Okay. So I want to. Oh, I thought I removed that picture. Huh. Let's go customize and make sure that we get that picture out of there. Okay, we went to home page sliders section. So first slider is that. Okay, go back. Second slider. So I don't know why it's showing that little kid looking in the snow, or why it did in that instance. Maybe it was a buggy, fluky thing with the theme. I'm not sure. Let's see. No, it's still showing it. Huh. So another thing you got to realize with these themes, these free themes, is there going to be some bugs. These are just created by people that put free stuff up for you to use. Of course, they're trying to upsell you extra stuff, which you may or may not want to pay for. But like in this case, I'm gonna play with this and tweak it until I get it the way I want. And if I can't get it the way I want, then I'm gonna have to just live with the consequences. So that being said, I think we've dug really deep into the themes section, how to do some customization on this specific theme. I gave you enough information so that you realize that you're going to have to really, depending on which theme you use, you're going to really have to get familiar with it. You're going to have to figure out a lot of stuff on your own depending on which theme you use. Okay, I can't teach you how to use every single theme out there. That would be impossible. I'm just giving you some building blocks, some footholds on where to get started when you go to design your own stuff. All right, so that being said, I'm going to end this video now. Let's see what we're going to talk about in the next one. So the next one, I want to talk about, adding pictures, images. We'll fix up some of this stuff down here. I'll show you how you can, change the text here, and we'll mess with this section down here, and we'll fix this website up. We'll continue with this theme and fix this website up and make it the best we possibly can within our boundaries. So I will talk to you soon.